Hey everyone, and welcome to another Sasquatch Theory film. In this video I traveled back down to my friend Bill's place in the Mark Twain National Forest to meet up with the research team. I will also be meeting up with Adam and Shelby to conduct a nighttime investigation. I think the best way to investigate this area is to make as many trips as possible and just spend as much time as I can in the area. That's really hard to do actually because I don't live around here, so it makes it tough driving back and forth. My plan for this trip is to set up a few audio recorders around the area and have a small perimeter covered, and find a good spot to sit down in the yard, put up the parabolic microphone, run the thermal device, and hope for the best. I'm working on a new audio recorder, and I think you guys are really going to be impressed when you see the final product. I have already shown you guys the idea, but not the completed concept. Also, the new artwork is in the process of being created right now, so look out for that in the future. If you enjoy watching Sasquatch Theory, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to comment down below. And if you would like to become a Sasquatch Theory member, you now have the option to do that. Join me as I take you guys along to one of my research areas where there have been several encounters and lots of Bigfoot activity.
All right, I'm getting ready to head down south, going over to Bill's place, and then after that, I'm camping at Adam's place. So between the two, we should have some luck.
I am really feeling optimistic about this trip, and I'm also hoping the Sasquatch decide to come out this time. It's kind of been wearing on me driving every direction looking for Bigfoot when I had all my sightings around my house and have found the most sign around my area. This spot is special to me because it usually never disappoints, and I have heard things in these woods that I don't hear back home. So when you find a place that's better than your backyard, it's always worth the trip. If you enjoy Sasquatch Theory, please like and subscribe to support more videos and trips like this.
We are pulling into Bill's place, finally made it here. All right, the audio recorder is set up, ready to roll, and there's the holler that it's overlooking. Pretty big area. Mark Twain to the right, Bill's place, and then some private land across the other holler. Usually we hear a group of females going off first, and it sounds like little girls screaming, and then that triggers the coyotes to go off, and eventually throughout the night you'll start hearing Sasquatch throughout the area. Wood knocks, limbs being crushed, broken, and basically seems like as the night unfolds, more and more Sasquatch come through the area. It seems like they're moving through or possibly hunting for the night. It's just really cool to experience, and this is an excellent place to be doing research. I know you guys enjoy Bill's as much as I do, and I'm hoping they come out tonight. If they do, we'll use the thermal and the parabolic. Bill's rule is no night vision or infrared devices such as trail cameras, so I'm really putting my money on the thermal and parabolic device. But when we go down to Adam's tomorrow, he's all right with us using infrared night vision, and it's not too far from here. But yeah, let's get at it. I'm gonna meet back up with the guys, see what they're doing. Maybe they need some help, and we'll get this day rolling. So I'm sitting here in the Mark Twain just listening for any sounds. I heard like, I don't know, maybe it was like a limb crash or a stick fall, maybe out of a tree, but I did hear something, and it was kind of unusual. It's in the spot where we usually hear them come out of. Is this the new camera?
Yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna disappear to the house for a while.
Okay, Bill, come on out whenever you're ready.
360 camera. I've tested it a few times.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Works pretty good though.
Yeah, it does work good. They do make very large video files though, so I'd say I'm probably gonna carry the other one for just the backward, just the efficiency off the backward camera. But
Yeah, everybody always says get a GoPro and film behind you, but you got that thing.
yeah, this is a 360 bubble around here. So
Yeah,
it's cool.
I like that mode where it kind of like puts you like in a globe.
Yeah, what it does is it hides. You know, you can't really see. They have a way of automatically trimming. There's even a pole that you can buy that'll stick out like this. But they've got the software set up to trim around that pole automatically, so the pole's invisible.
Wow.
It's messed up, man. I like that concept better.
Ever since you showed me that thing that night we had action up north, it's been popping up all over Google, and like when I look at reviews, it's actually like one of the top 3.
It is.
That and the Garmin. So,
Yeah,
whoa,
I like this one because when you turn it on,
Oh, you smell that? I got a strong whiff of pheromone chip. Strong whiff.
it's over there. Wow. There's another one over
Yeah,
there.
well, let me go check this out. It just hit me. I'm like, whoa. That's that thing I smelled earlier.
There's one here. Wow. Okay. And we got a northern wind, so the wind's blowing and it's blowing down there. So you want anything catching a whiff down there is good. So that's why I have my parabolic aiming this way last night.
Yeah.
Okay. And I put one, so it's like you're just catching the wind up on this ridge top. And I'd say put these on any ridge top where you're gonna go and use these, because the wind might change directions, right?
Yeah.
So if we can catch something get a critter from over there, hey, and we'll just use the parabolic and aim whatever direction we want.
I brought my acoustic guitar.
All right.
Yeah, my Taylor.
A
So
lot of food.
yeah, food. We'll play some music. We have the fire.
Bingo.
I mean, maybe do some calls. I don't know.
And you see the frickin', the money, the cash, slot machine wheels spinning as the bills are going out the door. And they could just pull away, but
Yeah, most likely you get there and just
I got
nothing.
a 360 camera on my shoulder. I would, I'll have a sidearm on me, if worse comes to worse, but just for the sheer documentation of getting it up a much closer 360 video of these things. Either even if they chase me away, hey, I got it looking behind me, or I storm into them and just. But I'm thinking, if I hear them again, I might just tear down the hill and just go for it. So this is the remote. It's a remote. I think the range on this is 300 feet.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm in a tent and I want to set this recorder out someplace.
So we can really pick up from far away.
Yeah,
That's what I was wondering.
yeah.
Yes, cool.
But you got to get it like a remote ear jack because you want to hear it. So what I do, like for this cabin, or if I'm in a vehicle in a remote area, I'll set this up. I'll either set the tripod up outside, and I'll run a long 12-foot cord inside the cabin. Here's the 12-foot cord. I sleep with the earbuds in. I'll doze off. If I hear anything in the night in an area that I'm monitoring, I'll get up and I'll get my thermal ready, and I'll do this. I'll figure out where it's coming from. So as you can see, I'm moving. This thing's panning left, panning right. So I have this in my pocket. I just have this right here. I'm like, what's that? And I'll be like, oh,
No.
I can monitor. If I hear something moving through the woods, left or right, I'll track it.
Now let's say something's moving down at the bottom of the hill. Can you aim it down?
Yep. It'll go down.
Yes.
If you want to zoom down the bottom of a ravine, or if you're in the bottom of a valley and you want to shoot up the top of a ridge, see that? So.
Well, shoot, this monopod makes an excellent selfie stick.
Oh yeah.
I just got this in the other day.
Well, you can use it as a walking stick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was walking back last time, and somewhere by the cemetery, I heard perfect human whistle, and I didn't see anything. But it's like they followed me back out of the Mark Twain. I don't know. It was weird.
Tell you what doesn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah.
I think this is storm damage here.
It's storm damage, but it's just right in the middle. But yeah,
It's blocking the trail, yeah.
yeah. I thought, I think my eyes were playing tricks on me, but I thought I saw something black.
Oh, yeah.
Before I even pointed that out. But yeah, storm damage.
Yeah, the tree's got a lot of weird, eerie shadows in them right now. The sky, the angle of the sun through the woods is. Yeah.
Eyes are playing tricks on me. See that? One. I don't know.
Yeah. Last time I was up here, I didn't notice all these down, but we've had some strong winds blowing, and actually we're going into March next month, so there's going to be a lot of wind blown stuff from the forest just dropping everywhere.
Do you think this arch is wind damage? Like that limb fell? It's
this
pretty
is
out there. Like if something pulled it out.
Well, this is a dead storm damaged limb that's fallen. And if I was a squatch, and this is fresh, it wasn't here last time.
Yeah.
This could have very easily fallen on this skinny, useless, I'm gonna quote, useless tree blind. If I was a squatch, I wouldn't bend this over. Because this you're gonna see a squatch bend over a sapling that's got vegetation on it.
Yeah.
To use it for a blind.
Right.
This could have been a juvenile playing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But, it's tucked in, but there's dead branches up there. Fell over a skinny, happened to get pinched. With all the winds blowing through the millions of logs in the forest, we're gonna see stuff like this. But if it doesn't make any truly useful, practical sense, I'd say it's either a juvenile playing with it or just coincidence.
Yeah, it could be either or.
But yeah, we go off in the forest and go along the rivers and light bonfires.
There's a lot of damage in here.
Yeah, we had some storms and high winds blowing through. And it's not just here, it's all through the forest. I've been hiking. I did several miles hiking this morning. And I was covering pretty good territory and all through the woods all around. There's just trees. You can tell where a gust of wind zipped through an area and just busted some trees. What was that?
There's an arch right here. Nothing
Oh, you
seems to
found
have
one?
fallen on top of it.
Oh, look at that.
Tip seems to be in the ground.
That's a pretty crafty one there.
Yeah, an
Look at
older
that.
one. It's kind of old.
But look at that.
Pointing towards that blue thing.
It's pinned down.
Yeah.
And there's really not a lot of heavy, big limbs above that make sense.
And this is right where they do the calls from too.
Evergreens out there. I don't know if they're Scottish pines or whatever they are out in Colorado. But when they break them, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Two little ones. Yeah, that's the one that's a tucked in one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little Junior's practicing his
Little juvenile.
his language there.
It's just the basic stuff, man. There's nothing fancy about these structures, but they blend in with the whole surroundings. You never know what the heck. I mean, look at the size of this thing. It's tiny.
Yeah.
This is Pee-weeville. This is the local daycare. Junior's hanging out and mimicking his mom or dad. Look at this. This is tucked in. There's nothing going to weight that thing down. It's tucked into the ground, and then we've got a little beginning of an X going on here.
Yeah.
Here. Mm-hmm. Highly improbable. All those things fall into the place without some kind of hands and fingers doing the work.
Yeah.
But I could see a storm causing
look
that.
at those. It seems like they're pulled over, maybe, or they were bent.
Yeah,
over.
right. Look at these. These are pulled over. Look at that.
It is unusual.
And there's no big logs hanging above them. So they're probably monkeying around this area.
Mm-hmm.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Look, straight across the valley over there, down below the ridge, there's a huge, long, it's a pine grove up there. A big, that's a tall ridge up there. That's the tallest ridge around.
Yeah.
And that'd be a good spot to go check out, man.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
You want to go now? Let's go for it, man. Mad rush.
You want to?
You got energy?
But I'm gonna walk like, I don't know, good little distance from me. Yeah, I wanted to split off from Joe, just at least like 40 yards. That way, we can have more eyes on the land, cover more ground.
We're live.
Yeah, we are live.
Live in Muppet Land.
Good deal. Oh, I thought I heard a noise way back that way. Know what it was.
All right.
Yeah, me and Joe are definitely armed because you guys know why.
Pretty deep holler right here.
Dog man. Bigfoot. Don't want to get eaten, guys. Yeah, there's like some crystal or something on this rock. Very interesting. I don't think you can take rocks off of federal land, but here it is nonetheless. This is a neat area.
Oh yeah, it's a cool area, man. This little kind of a lot of deadfall, big old dead trees have fallen in here.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, right.
You get a response.
Yeah, this is some old, a storm whipped through here and just blew over these big, tall, dead trees.
Yeah.
But this is a cool area.
Joe, check out this rock.
Oh, look at that sparkles on that thing, man. That looks like a pink quartz.
I know. That's what I was thinking, like crystal quartz.
Yeah, it's a quartz. Whoever's up here, scope it out.
So follow the stream.
Next time we can maybe take a forest road, like even this one, drive in a little closer, kind of use our vehicle as a base and come down and check out this whole area here,
Yeah.
Unless there's a quicker way to get to it from the other side. Hey, look, looks like an ammo can of rocks right here, huh?
Yeah, it is. I wonder if any of them have been moved.
This whole area right here.
Huh?
This whole area's got a bunch of pebble-sized rocks. Makes you wonder if Squatch clans ever had battles with each other and throw rocks at each other.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that's kind of like a circle. Check this out. This one's been moved like recently. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
See, I kicked it over. I wasn't expecting it to be that fresh.
All
What about that one? Oh yeah. Okay. So it's kind of like.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was
oh my gosh, it's been moved.
I was wondering earlier if
Look at this one.
what's up with all these loose rocks?
Yeah, look, this one's been moved. Wow, amazing.
Hey,
Yes.
if you put a recorder out here and just leave it out here a while, you're gonna hear somebody playing with these rocks.
Yeah. What do you think that means? We got mom, junior.
Well, the other
two,
side of that
junior
log,
three, and
there's
then dad.
dozens over there too. This whole area.
Oh yeah. Big ammo pile right here. So they come get some rocks here, or they collect them. Oh, you can see where they've been moved, Joe. Joe, look.
Where?
See that? That's been flipped over.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a Dillo, but look at that. Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Feel the weight of this one. It's got iron in it.
Oh my. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty good size hole. Foxhole over there. Well, I don't know. You got that break pointing towards the creek, and then you got an X right here.
And here's another baby juvie symbol. Look at this.
Yeah.
What's the coincidence you're gonna get? Look at all this delicate juvie stuff.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is multiple little things.
Star of David right there, my friend.
See that edge right there? That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Looks like it's an impression of some kind. And it's the size of a foot, but half a foot. Man, it looks like somebody raked this out like a golf course.
Yeah.
Somebody's manicuring the golf course for us. Hey, here's some more of that cool looking quartz.
Crystals have a high concentration of energy, supposedly, but look at this. Boom, moved. It's been moved. I mean, look at that. See?
Yep.
Man, that's the rock.
This whole creek bed is lined full of a lot of rocks.
Yeah.
It's like they're picking them up and playing with them.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a lot of arches around here. Yeah. Yeah, this is unusual. Definitely Squatch. Look at the way that sapling is pulled around that white oak.
Oh yeah, that one's curved in and woven.
Yeah. There's a bunch of structures in here, Joe.
I know. I was just glimpsing at it. I'm like, yeah, something's going on in here. There's a lot of small saplings bent all over in here.
Uh-huh.
These are the bendable. This is like a bendable play zone in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it gives you just an idea of what resources they have back here.
Yeah.
No wonder they just keep coming through to Bill's place.
Yeah.
This place is total perfect habitat.
Yeah, they love the Mark Twain.
You got a beautiful watershed, plenty of places to play. Pine ridges all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Deer running around, hogs running around. Not a lot of people in here.
Well, I say we go back to Bill's, cook some food, get refueled,
That's it.
and just chill out and listen for Sasquatch.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Let them follow us out of here and have their pick. That's how it was last time. Nothing happened out there. And then when I got over here by the cemetery, just like that.
Yeah. I think they came out of a tree.
Yeah.
They are one with the tree.
They could be.
It's been getting closer to 5:30. Hey,
Who's in
Trying to
here?
meet you in person.
you too.
Oh, dude.
Hey,
What's going on? I see you. Sorry to make you wait.
you're fine. I mean, Bill's just been here
Okay.
telling stories.
Yeah.
It's been really quiet the last couple of times I've come down, and I'm not sure if the presence of researchers has spooked these beings away, or it's just that time of year, as they seem to be more active in the summertime. That's when I had all my sightings and a bulk of the activity. Summertime will be key, in my opinion.
You only get the hot. The closer you get, like from me to him, or maybe short range, then you're gonna get heat on the face and hand. But as you go back farther, 100, 200, 300, 400 yards, those sharper heat signatures turn faint grays and whites. So you got to get into the different shades of not hot heat color, like glowing red. You're gonna get the fainter looks. So that's the biggest thing I've learned with the thermals. And every thermal's different. You're gonna learn the little unique signatures with this one. He's gonna learn all the nicks and crannies with his. Mine's a slightly different version of one he's got. So it's almost, we should probably just go on out to a bunch of trees and figure out, hey, here's my model. Let's do some distance checks. Your color disappears at 90, 300, 400 yards. He says it's got 300 yard range.
Yeah, and it works during the day just like ours.
Yeah.
A lot of the models, you can't do that.
I'm glad to see the prices coming down on more competitors.
You want to walk out there? Oh, yeah. It does look good.
He's a juvenile Squatch right there, man. There's our test.
Yeah, this
there's
thing's
our
cool.
Test guy right there.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. You'll definitely be able to tell if it's a Sasquatch.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Yep.
That's cool. It's real light too.
Oh yeah.
Super
I like
light.
the portability of it.
I usually just let it
Good setup,
dangle
man.
from my wrist just
Yeah.
until you're running and just like hitting you in the face.
I think mine's in my pocket. Here's mine. Yeah, here's mine. I usually keep mine in my pocket, but it boots up in 2 seconds, man. Ding ding.
Joe's got a recorder right there next to the cabin, ready to roll
Yeah.
for tonight.
It just says
We are ready for the wood buggers.
Yes, we are.
display off. Just kind of moving around.
Oh, yeah. If you hold it, what it does is it goes into.
What do we got here? Some
Chili.
brownies, some chili. Oh yeah. Buns, moon pies, chips, brats. Yeah.
Big guy can't resist this.
It looks good though.
All we got here is a Walmart and a
Smells good.
what's the name of that thing? I don't get so bad at that now.
Does Frederickson have a schnucks?
Yeah, we got a chocolate moon pie filled up with marshmallow. And what do you think? You think it's gonna work? Yeah. I'm gonna put it where Bill had his encounter at, and hopefully it'll go missing. But like, my goal with this is like, they'll see me put it down, right? And every time I come, they'll be like, oh, that's that guy that leaves us moon pies. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome, dude. But every time, you know, I left those almonds up there, they're gonna grab them, eat them. They're gonna find this moon pie, but my scent's all over it. So they're gonna know who it is, because anytime I come, they shut down now. They're, you know, I'm thinking they don't like all the equipment, you know what I mean? So, who knows? What'd you say though? I wasn't even paying attention.
I don't know. When it comes to equipment, I don't know, because there's a lot of times we go out there and we have stuff happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same here. Like when I had activity up north where I live, it didn't matter. I had a camera in my hand. If they wanted to wood knock or push over a tree, they were going to do it. They didn't care.
The only thing I'm not sure about is the game cameras and batteries dying. That's weird.
Yeah.
Is that Squatch? Or is that paranormal stuff? Or is it the same thing? I don't know.
Some would say it's one and the same. Others argue it's different.
I mean, they like to hang around graveyards. I'm not saying that Bigfoot is paranormal, but maybe, I don't know. I don't know. No, nobody knows.
Yeah.
Until it runs out of battery.
Yeah, Joe's got some turkey legs going. How's the turkey leg?
Smoked turkey leg.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Good?
Good.
We're carnivores.
Grab one.
I ate like 2 bowls of chili.
Oh,
Then
you
was
broke the
picking
rule.
one
You
for
gotta,
us.
you gotta have
Aw,
room for this.
I forgot. Remember when Six Flags used to have turkey legs?
Where?
Do they?
Back there. That's where I need to be aiming it at.
Yep.
The whole time he was over there.
You go to most places.
There's all the guys around the fire. That's a cemetery over there. I think one of the tombstones is lighting up red, possibly from the heat during the day. Just searching around, seeing if I can find any heat signatures, anything. That's the spot where I got awesome audio before the Sasquatch have come up right there.
Behind you, we got a 360.
There we go.
Anything's moving. You got the tight cone, which is the mic in the back. Aim that sucker, and you just listen. We can do a couple calls. I got the shofar in the back seat. We can go down and make a bunch of noise, or we can just sit. But this is a cool spot. Let's go check it out.
Yeah, this is gonna be awesome, guys.
Completely into upside down.
That's Sasquatch right there. No, I don't know.
This is one of those favorite little side-by-side roads too. They've been coming down here.
Yeah. There's some wicked trails.
All these trees knocked
What do you guys think?
This is all new knockdown
Yeah,
shit.
there's all kinds of trees blocking the road. Joe says I gives no squatch. I'm going back here.
Yeah, I got a bottle of McGuire's in the back. Last time me and Adam were down here, it was raining freaking cows and chickens. I rolled this 4Runner on this trail down here on the road. Yeah, there's some pretty nasty sections of this thing. Here's look at this shit.
Yeah, all the
There's
little tree breaks. See, yeah, a bunch of those right there, just like
Look at
that.
this shit.
Yeah, I seen like 10 of those already.
Dude, this is nuts.
They're back here. I'm telling you. Look at that one.
What the hell?
Yeah, that one's splintered. Oh my gosh. We gotta explore this
the
area.
12 gauge is
Up
in the
that
back.
way and down that holler.
Yeah.
You might not find anything
Look at
down
this
here
shit,
up there.
Jungle gym shit going on here.
Yeah.
Well, all these stick
That's bedding
breaks were
areas
not
for
here
deer.
last time.
Those are bedding areas for the deer and stuff.
The female parks hangs out in there.
I tell you what, you have a shit fit you see coming out into the house. You got all kinds of that kind of stuff down here.
That's what it is. It's them. It's Sasquatch, son.
Look at this. Yeah, I mean, this is really
You guys know the drill. You guys know stick breaks and all that other crap, right?
Yeah.
There's a really good book by Christopher Noel, what the
50 most common Sasquatch structures. But I'd say
point in the same direction.
here's another one. Look at
Yep, there's another one.
it's like
Yeah, they are. Yep.
at the barbecues at Bill's tonight. That's what all the arrows are for. Hang a left, go to Bill's.
All right, guys.
Leave here in a minute.
Have you ever seen so many broken sticks?
No, not like that.
Miguel, you got a thermal?
Yeah.
Okay. You gotta do a death call, man.
Okay.
Yeah, do that death call.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Death call. He's gonna do a death call.
Let me know next time you do that. That way I don't shit myself.
Did you?
I just heard something back on me. Stand real still. Stand real still. Don't walk. Just twist your hips to
I heard some noise around us. Sounds good.
I'm gonna do a call.
Yeah. Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna do a call, okay?
You guys hearing anything? We didn't have much action last night, so I'm getting all my stuff packed up and I'm heading down to Adam and Shelby's place, look around and see what we can find. It's just that time of year, guys. It's gonna get more active when the green comes back, so. Big rock in the tree. I think I filmed that the last time I was out here, but I'll film it again. Where'd they find Old Man Gilbert at? Right there?
That was...
Past that? Okay, yeah, that's up there.
See, the water's up right now, but there's a log that lays in there, and we got a bunch of plastic teeth screwed to it and an eyeball, and we call it the alligator log.
Yeah.
But right there where that log is.
Oh, wow.
Right there is where Grandpa seen that.
Yeah. See, he was found dead in the water, and they just assumed drowned,
Yeah.
but he had no water in his lungs.
Yeah.
That's the rock, Miguel.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Now, did you see that? Like, has it flooded? Do you think the flooding did that? I mean,
Well,
what
let
a
me...
rock.
Now,
Rocks sink, right?
me and Shelby come out here. It was just me and Shelby. And we found a different rock up there on this branch right here. Ow. Thorn bush. It was right here. Okay. And we left it there. And we come back. And it was on the ground. It was shaped kind of like a heart. I put it back up there. It was 2 Saturdays ago. I put it back up there. We come back down here last week and this rock's gone. It's not on the ground anywhere. That rock's there and it's higher up.
Yeah. Yeah, that is wild. All right, so this is kind of important to me. What kind of rock is it?
I don't know.
You think it's pink granite? It's kind of smooth.
Shelby don't like it when I touch it. I actually, with my shoulder, I don't know if I can get it down.
I don't think I can reach it.
That's pink granite.
Is it? Ow!
I think so.
I think so too.
Hey, look, a lure. All right.
That is strange. Oh, you get a lure?
Ow. Ow.
Some of the best lures I've found were snagged up on trees and limbs like that.
Gifting us.
It's like, hey, here's your lure back.
I stepped on it.
Oh, it's all entangled and all up in that.
You have to bring your knife.
Yeah. Hey.
Get it later. But you know where it is.
Yeah.
The
Here.
rock marks the spot. There you go. You can see the deer tracks here. Heavy trail. Does it get pretty low in the summer?
Right here, not really.
No?
It kind of stays at this level.
Yeah. Man, you can see that trail where the deer are crossing. Right there across the bank. Very cool.
The last thermal I got was over there.
Yeah.
It's kicking there.
Yeah, it is. Is that spring water pouring?
Yeah, that's the spring.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, the Sasquatch are definitely coming from somewhere over there probably.
Right there.
Yeah. And they come out here to fish. Oh, that's cool. Let's see what you got there, Shelby. Oh, wow. That thing's huge.
Very clean.
Yeah.
Pretty big one.
It is. Yeah, that's cool. Nice. Good find, guys. And is that good eating? Like, do people eat them?
Some people do.
Yeah.
I haven't.
I want to try it. I gotta try it. I don't care if it's gross. I want to see what it's like.
What happens with that?
Yeah. We'll have to cook some up. Those things like clean up the creeks and the rivers. Like natural filters.
Every big water we get, we'll get them.
But there's a lot of stories where Sasquatch are seen eating clams or digging for them. I'm sure they do that around here because there's just so many shoals. Yeah. Especially like in Washington, the Olympic Mountains and all that. They'll come off the mountains
and to the beaches, look for clams. Oh, you got knocked out by a clamshell. Right. A lot of beavers around here?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm not talking about the animal kind. No, I'm kidding. Oh. Angry beavers. No, I'm kidding.
Well, it depends on the time of the month.
Right. Wow, this is cool. How far back does the land go? Where you took me to those rocks, the granite rocks?
That's about halfway.
About halfway, really? Yeah. Well, shoot, let's explore the whole thing. Yeah. I'd definitely like to look at the whole area and just get a good idea of like how the animals are moving through here. Oh, yeah. And the Sasquatch.
Do you think that maybe there is a connection with black locust trees?
I don't know. Why?
I've heard that because
really?
we've got this rock situation here.
Oh, okay.
And a black locust tree right here.
Yeah. It could be. Dang, you can hear way out there. I hear a hawk going off. Let's aim it towards the water.
What are the fish saying?
Glop, glop, glop. Yep. Feeling fishy? That's cool though.
This is where me and Shelby like to stand, is in here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a cool spot.
Well, we don't enjoy it. This is just the spot to go.
Wow. Those rapids. That's cool. Something ran over there in that wood line. I don't know what it was. Could have been deer. That way.
It was the El Chupacabra.
Yeah. Could be. They're around, man.
Goat suckers.
Yeah. All right, where you guys want to go?
We'll migrate that way.
Okay.
Is there?
Yeah, but it's probably in water right now.
So I had my Jeep over there once. There's a great big log over there I was stuck on.
Uh-oh.
Little buck rubbed.
Yeah.
He rubbed on that until he broke it in half.
Having a good time. What's
see-
with the rock pile over there?
This big hump here?
Yeah.
So when this got flooded real bad in '93, state come in, and you can see where they come in with these high lift dozers
Uh-huh.
and took rock out of here
Yeah.
to fix the road.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
That's what these mounds are. I mean, I hope.
Yeah, this is a cool little area here. So this is all pink granite though, for sure, huh? And what do you say you get out of this? Like radion or?
Radon.
Radon? Okay.
Causes cancer.
This does? Oh, right. guys ever got any activity? In
Yeah.
there? Really?
There's one night we come down here and we had a rock or something hit the water.
Yeah.
Here recently we was doing a call right there and we had something over here whistling back at us. That's kind of creepy.
What'd the whistle sound like?
Closer to a screech. I wouldn't say it was a screech owl.
Yeah.
Almost like a PE whistle. You know?
A lot of owls in here.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
cool.
This is fun to float right through here.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine the rapids. I bet you've seen some people wipe out.
It's usually me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh lost his glasses down here next set of shut-ins.
Really?
Yeah, he was down there when he got turned over.
Dude, there's like rocks in the middle. Whoa, about went in. That's crazy. Yeah, this would be the place for a Sasquatch to congregate. I mean, the clams alone, let alone the fish and all the other food. Yeah, that's cool.
What is this? Little
Owl.
fish scales and stuff.
I think like an owl landed there and like, you know, they cough up like all the bones, like from the rodents and stuff. Yeah. He's like,
Ooh, ooh.
yeah. Ooh, we're getting close to the water. Now that's cool.
You used to come down here all the time and have picnics when we was kids.
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
See, we were kind of a poor family. Grandma wouldn't buy us floaties. She tied milk jugs to our armpits. You'd be out there swimming around, you'd lose the lid, start sinking. Grandma, help!
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Sink or swim.
Figure it out, honey. That's cool though. So where'd she see the creature with the ears? The big ears?
That was right up there beside the house.
But beside the house? Okay, that's what I was thinking. And do you think the fire has something to do with the activity? Not that they created it, but just something paranormal?
Personally, I think so, but
Yeah. Well, those sounds,
I can't prove
sounded like the sounds of hell. I don't know. It's hard to say, but we got pink granite everywhere, guys.
for that many bad things that happened to that many houses on this property, coincidence?
No.
I think not.
Yeah. A lot of sightings. Just gazing off into the wind. Or,
Like that little kid playing baseball way out in the middle of the field, sitting down Indian style picking grass.
yeah. The guy Sasquatch looking for clams.
He's got a Milwaukee box knife.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be food in, like underneath the rocks, you know, like little cave openings, and that's where the catfish and bass want to get in. Wonder if Sasquatch go noodling. You know what I mean? Like where you stick your hand underneath the rocks and like pull fish up.
I could grab turtles, I could grab catfish.
Yeah.
Shelby.
There could be something watching us, and I'm sure we're being watched right now, but
Look at this break.
who knows?
Check that out.
Yeah. Snow load or Sasquatch? Yeah, there's definitely a lot of pressure there at one point. Nothing fell on top of it. It could be. A lot of granite rock.
You'll find a lot of those Sasquatch theory rocks that are laying on top of leaves. You'll find them in here if you just look.
Yeah. Yeah, we found a bunch yesterday.
How does that happen?
I don't know.
The rock's just like, you know what?
I can't say for sure it's Sasquatch, but there's so many stories of them rock throwing and moving rocks, rock piles. So it's evidence of them moving rocks. Yeah, hunting the deer.
Like if you know anything about hogs, if they're flipping rocks over, they leave a mess.
Really?
It doesn't look like just a settled rock just
from
placed
there.
out of.
But
Yeah.
okay, so what were you doing that day before the encounter? And
I was just coming home from work, you know, and I took the long way around.
Mhm.
And I had bald tires on the truck, and I'd go around this corner on 124 and slide around it. Well, I put new tires on it, and I hit the corner, and I was going to slide around it, but it hooked up, so I had to pay attention because I was going to be on. It hooked me onto the inside of the turn, and there it stood on my right, and it just jumped down front. When it jumped down on all fours, the front feet went in, or the arms went underneath, in between his legs and his back legs, just like that. And then when it went through, it was just gone right there, and it just disappeared. And I was pulled over and stopped, and I never did see nothing, didn't hear nothing going through the woods or nothing. So I don't know, went through a portal or it just disappeared.
yeah, when you saw it, it was just standing there, right?
Yeah, it was just standing there, you know.
Did it even look over at you guys, or?
No, yeah, it just kind of looked at me like, is this guy going to run over me or what? Because I hit it, 45 miles an hour, trying to get my truck to slide. And that's why I had to look up, or I wouldn't even pay attention to it. I'd been paying attention to what I was doing, But it hooked up, so I made sure nobody's coming up over that hump. And it was on the hump, and it just right into the woods.
Yeah, and you said like when it got on all fours, like its front hands went to the back legs, kind of.
Yep, in between the back legs. Yep.
Yeah. And you kind of gave a description earlier, kind of like it looked like a sloth or something.
Yeah, his head seemed like it was smaller than what you'd think a Bigfoot or something like that would have. Because his nose, it's like a smaller dog. His nose hasn't went out big enough or not. It just kind of looked like a sloth's head on the. I could see I paid attention to his calf. I could see the muscle in the back legs, flexing is what I caught my attention the most.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just 2 times and it was gone.
And it was right next to a waterway too. So
yeah, there's a creek on the left-hand side.
Yeah, a lot of people say that they follow the waterways, and in this case, that's where it was.
Well, it was just right up over the hill, be Crane Pond Lake, so they could go over there and come right on across. Just over the hills, only about a half a mile.
Yeah. What time of day was this?
4:30.
Okay.
I guess, because I got off work and yeah.
So it was
About
getting ready
4:30.
to be dark.
Yeah. Well, it was summertime kind of.
Oh, it was summertime? Okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't going to be dark in probably an hour, so it wasn't that late. It's 4:30, so, and truthfully, I can't tell you if it was summer.
Yeah.
Because, the leaves was on because when he went in through that hole there, that old logging road, it just disappeared. I mean, when I pulled over and stopped, I don't know if it had went too far and I couldn't hear it, but I didn't hear nothing after that.
What color was it?
Brown.
Brown?
Yep.
Did it have like any shine in the hair or anything?
Yeah, it shined. It glistened.
Yeah.
Yep.
And did you smell anything when you got to that spot?
Nope.
Yeah.
Never smelled nothing.
Okay.
Nope.
Did you feel threatened at all? Did it seem like a peaceful creature, like it was just minding its own business, or did it seem...
Yeah, he just heard me coming, the motor revving, and he getting the hell out of there.
Yeah. And you mentioned it had kind of like a protruding snout.
Yeah, but it wasn't big. It was just kind of short.
Like a short snout,
Yeah,
but it was sticking out.
But it was sticking out, yeah. Because I was thinking, if it was a Bigfoot, it would have a blunted face, But it didn't seem to have that.
Yeah. Well, there are reports of Sasquatch that have like that baboon-looking face.
Yeah.
So they're not all the same.
Well,
some have flat faces.
Real it could have been something like that. But when it was standing there, I didn't see how long his arms was or anything like that, so I couldn't really tell.
Yeah. How long do you think the hair was? Was it a couple
like
inches?
That.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, on his ass end, what I paid attention, what caught my attention the most, it was just about like that, but it was perfect.
Yeah.
It's like it's groomed. I mean, it wasn't all shaggy.
It didn't look dirty.
Nope.
Real nice coat.
Yep.
Yeah. The ones I seen, they had an awesome coat,
Really?
Yeah, it looked like they would get in the river and, shower and stuff,
Yeah.
take care of themselves.
Well,
and
I don't doubt that.
conditioner in.
Yeah. Yeah, it was slick. It was shiny coat. I mean, he wasn't all like he had the mange or nothing like that. It was all perfect.
Yeah. Did you keep this kind of a secret for a while? Or did you tell
Well,
him?
my neighbor come by and I went and told him, and and he agreed with what we thought it was, because we thought it was a Bigfoot. And then after that, I didn't tell nobody because everybody think, you're stupid.
Yeah.
You're just saying things. Well, until you see one, of course. I've always been into it, but I've never seen nothing, so I didn't know exactly really what to even look for,
Yeah. And you guys saw this video and kind of connected the dots?
Yeah, I started searching, yeah. I was like, finally, somebody might believe what I'm telling them. You tell people, and they're like, yeah, really? And, you tell in the back of their mind, they're going, he's in the Looney Tune.
Yeah. Well, we hear all kinds of stuff up the road, and I mean,
really?
Especially in the summer, like, you can hear them all going off, hollering, doing howls, and then the coyotes kick off. And it gets
if you're on a
crazy.
Weekend, call me. I'll come out here and listen.
Yeah, I plan on coming out here and camping, and some of the researchers are going to come out here, and you guys are more than welcome.
Heck, I'd do that.
Yeah, he says it's an active area. I mean, he said he hears stuff all around here. So.
Well, whenever I was watching the first video, I was thinking, where is that campsite at, where they're talking about? Because I know the river pretty good, but I was thinking, I got to go find that spot.
He mentioned Silver Mine and Blue Mountain, so that was kind of a
when they said that, I was like, okay, it's either between Chris Cylinders Road and Millstream Gardens. I said, but I remember Adam was saying something about they kayak and the water gets in the yard and stuff, so I was thinking, well, I know that's got to be somewhere down there.
Yeah. Well, I drove down that highway to get here yesterday, and I was thinking that. I was telling you earlier, like, man, this looks like an area they'd be in.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, you're telling me an encounter from that same spot.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
The first time I ever seen anything I didn't know what was, I was hunting in Iron Holler. And it was big, black, long, big, tall like a bear, but it had a long tail on it. And when I stepped out in the road, turned back around and looked, it was gone. But I don't know, it probably had a head like that big around, because I got a good view of it, because it scared the crap out of me. I was thinking, I don't know if this started out 6 to stop that. I better just go on my merry way. And I turned around, it was gone. And I told everybody I was hunting with too, and they was like, "You're crazy, that was a cat." Yeah, it's an awful big one.
Have you been like having flashbacks of past memories after this encounter and putting two and two together with Bigfoot? Have you thought about things in the past, like things you've heard or found on the property, or come across
with the coyote stuff? Like I was hunting that one time, that one coyote started off before the other ones, and he was big. I'm thinking, man, oh man, that's a big one. I'll be sure and pop him when he comes around. And it was getting time for me to get out of the woods anyway. It's getting dark, and then we heard sitting at the house, and we heard a coyote, like what he's got. Adam's got it on his tape is what I heard. It real sound like a dude doing it, and then all the coyotes come in. And then they, of course, then they start yipping.
Like a guy being tortured or something.
They just like what, like that. But then it turned into a coyote howl.
He said he caught.
Of course, I didn't pay that much attention to it, because I'm just thinking, it's just a coyote, because I live, shit like that. But I didn't pay that much mind to it until I heard what he was talking about, what Adam was talking about. Huh? Oh yeah, we was at Crane Lake at the old boat ramp. Me and my daughter was in the front throwing rocks into the creek because the water's all down that right now. And we just messing around out there, and my wife was in the passenger seat, and something smacked the side of the truck door. And she said, "Don't be throwing rocks at me." We was like, "We didn't throw that rock." Well, we couldn't have, because we was in the front of the truck. There was nobody else to the right. There wasn't even nobody else down there. And I don't know where the rock went. Couldn't find it, so I don't know.
How big do you think the rock was?
About that big around, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. It just tick on the side of the truck, and it's like,
Yeah.
kind of. If it would have been a grasshopper.
Knew that somebody threw a rock at you.
Right. Yeah.
If it was,
I thought they was doing it because they was in front of the truck.
the only other thing it could be is a grasshopper jumped off in the, but there ain't no grass there hardly, just right there at the edge. I mean, it had to jump and, I mean,
It was enough that I got
kamikaze.
out of the truck
Yeah.
to look for said rock, and of
Yeah.
course I'm on a boat ramp, so there's rocks everywhere.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
there's a story up there where I live, right at the boat ramp. There was one throwing rocks at a fisherman.
Well, dude, you can see there though. For him to throw that rock, he had to throw it from here across the creek, over from behind us to hit, and you couldn't see it. Oh, there was no leaves on it at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is kind of weird.
You guys ever seen like the red eye shine, like these guys?
No, I've never had.
I've seen yellow eye shine, but like yellowish green.
Yeah, that's what I was asking Adam a while ago, if he's ever tried looking at a person, to have somebody like lay down behind that log in the dark, you know, and just put their head up so you can see, you can get a reflection on their eyeball. See if a human would do that. I've never noticed. You know, cats, guys are green and yellow and stuff like that, but you know, just a house cat. I guess I've ever seen a wild cat out in the wild, you know.
Yeah.
But
any more experiences you can think of? Anything strange? Any
well,
questions for me?
Tell them about what Nick said to happen.
Oh, Nikki said right across here, up there, I won't know the names, the guy that used to live up there, his son and my nephew wanted to go hunting, and he said, don't go out there. He said, because there's 8-foot stride tracks that he don't know what it is. Said he seen it walking down the field. Then he went and found the tracks.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let them go hunting back there. I mean, you know, they're just 13 years old, you know, 12. So that's 20 years ago, but 25. But I didn't even know he'd even seen that until I told him I was going to come and talk to you guys about it. He said, well, tell him this. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, you probably made a good decision there not letting them hunt back there.
Yeah.
That's what was back there, probably.
Yeah, probably. And the only other, let's see, my uncle said that thought he's seen his nephew walking up down the old crane pond up there on the road that goes in behind the lake.
Mm-hmm.
He was deer hunting last year and thought it was his nephew because he's a real tall guy. Thought, what is he doing out here in a ghillie suit without no orange on?
Mm-hmm.
And so he got back to camp, and Robbie never even showed up. He never had even showed up. So he don't know what it was. He just let it go. He said, like, well, he didn't want to shoot or nothing. If you shoot somebody, thinks somebody in a ghillie suit, you know.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure there's been all kinds of sightings around here.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch, and nobody's just got the balls to tell anybody because they think they get ridiculed.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
heck with them.
Right. I don't care.
Yep. I know what I've seen, and ain't nobody gonna change it. I can't tell you exactly what it was, but I know I didn't see no dog crossing the road walking on his hind leg, or no bear or no horse walking across there on their hind legs. I know it wasn't nothing like that. So what was it?
Have you ever went back up to that spot where the creature went?
No, I've never been up in there. It just goes back at the edge of the woods. It goes into a field back in there that a farmer takes care of. But I never. No, actually, it didn't really dawn on me to even go back in there. And I ain't going in there without no gun.
You think it's public land where it went, though?
Yeah, I think it is right there at that one spot. But then it turns into private. You know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I can get permission to go in there probably.
Yeah, it'd be neat to see where that thing was going.
Yeah. Well, that road is just it goes over there, and that creek goes right underneath the highway there at 124.
Mm-hmm. And what's odd about it is just like from those trees to the power line. That he could have went the power line.
Yeah, there's a power line there too. So
where it was clear to travel, but
you know,
it didn't.
Yeah.
Right into a branch.
Actually, if you think about it, at that tree, there is a power line that's right there.
Yeah.
So he could have been coming down the power line, then just jumped the road there because I scared it.
Yeah, that's the perfect recipe. You got waterways and power line strips, and that's what researchers say.
I think I actually scared it. I don't think if I'd have just been mosing around there easy, I think it'd have just stood there and watched me go by, or I'd just stopped and I'd have seen it better. But you know, I had her on the floor and it was slinging gravel, and that makes a lot of noise. So he's probably thinking I can't attack that.
He was already committed.
Yeah, he's like, we need to go. And he was gone.
Yeah.
But it just disappears. And when I pulled over, I opened up my door because my window don't roll down before I even shut the truck off. And it was still rolling, and I shut the truck off just so I could see if I could hear anything. And I never heard nothing. I just kind of sit there for about 5 minutes thinking, what was that? Still, like, nah. It was too big to be a raccoon. You know, no tail. But it had well-groomed fur.
Yeah.
But what it was, don't know.
Okay.
Bigfoot, I guess. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
You know.
Okay.
I'm just glad, if it was a big, I'm just glad it wasn't no dog man, because I don't want to see one of them.
Right, yeah.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, I know. That
I imagine seeing a 8-foot freaking dude be scary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that's big. Just 8 foot. And they say they can get up to 12 feet, 11 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's huge. You got to have shoulders that big or that wide.
Yeah.
They're massive.
Yeah. They're around here.
Well, maybe one day we'll see one.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I would like to be able to see one and be able to, and it not see me so I can look at it
Mm-hmm.
before I get all scared
Yeah.
and freak out and get the hell out.
Mm-hmm.
When my mom was young, she used to come camping down here, way up on the, across the creek,
Mm-hmm.
up on the hill. It's Pence Brothers own it now.
Mm-hmm.
But way up there. Mrs. Francis lived up there when Mom was little. She'd come and stay with Miss Francis during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when the sun would start to go down, the lady would make them all come in because she said it was time for the big hairy man to come out. They weren't allowed to play outside when it got dark
Yeah.
because they said he was out there. Mom said they always heard noises, especially like on the porch and stuff on the lady's little cabin. She only had like a little 2-room cabin, no electric, just gas lanterns. You know, Mom said they were terrified up there.
Yeah.
That's why it wasn't unusual to Mom down here because Miss Francis built the first cabin down here, and that's where her and her husband lived, was down here. And then Mom and Dad bought it when they had both passed away,
Okay.
when we were young. When we was young, we wasn't afraid to go anywhere. You know, we didn't have flashlights or nothing, teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
We'd all walk down that bridge at night and walk back. We always heard something following you. And it'd walk like in the side of the road where you couldn't see it, but you could hear it. And if you'd stop, it would stop. You'd run, it'd run. And there's no animal, that's no deer or anything like that, is going to follow you that way and, you know, stop when you stop.
Yeah.
And I know Adam told you the story about the beating on the cabin, the front door and the back door. My dad, we were just all kind of in the middle screaming. I was about 15, 16 when that happened. You know, my dad's got the gun. You don't know which door to go to because by the time you get to the front door, you'd be beating on the back of the cabin. And it was really weird because it was like the dogs were hypnotized. They never woke up. My dad was like, stop, stop. Look at the dogs. They never got up. And these dogs would bark before a car would even come down the hill.
Yeah.
You know, and it was really weird that all that was going on, screaming in the cabin, you know, us all running, Dad going back and forth, and he was cussing,
Yeah.
you know, and them dogs never did wake up,
That is strange.
you know. It's like they were hypnotized.
Yeah, they were like in a trance or something.
Yeah, they never woke up.
Yeah, I remember that story.
So
That
it was
was
all
freaky.
over, and, you know, we all was over there waking the dogs up. They never woke up. But
They were
yeah,
dead
we-
asleep.
Huh?
They just stayed asleep.
Stayed asleep until we
wow.
woke them up.
Yeah. Yeah, that is unusual.
We'd all sit out here around the bonfire. First time we heard it holler, we about tore that back door off that cabin all trying to get in there, you know. But my mom said, no, you got to think of a camper like Shelby's camper up there. You know, wasn't a fifth wheel, it was just a regular Terry camper. My aunt and uncle had it down here and they stayed in it. And my mom said when they looked out the window, you know, she could see it looking in my aunt and uncle's camper, and it was bent over, like to look in the windows. And that's how tall it was. And she said it was all like the moon was shining on it. She said it looked silver on its back, like it was either old or, you know. And then one night she said it stood up by the campfire. She told us all to get our butts to bed and thought it was out there. One of us kids was out there and was hollering, get your butt to bed, told you all to go to bed. Because when we'd come down here, everybody would want to come. Everybody would load up in the truck, you know, just pack them in as tight as we could. Friends, cousins, you know, brothers and sisters. We'd all load up and come down here with Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
But she said she thought it was someone just sitting there by the bonfire, and she was like, I told you to get your butt up, and was halfway out there when it stood up. and said she realized when it stood up what it was. So she backed up all the way to the house. I mean, she lived here in this house that just burnt. She said that if her window was open, she could smell it, like a wet dog. And she said her dog would bark and growl, and she had a big Labrador, protected Mom a lot.
Yeah.
And said she'd go to the door, the dog would be barking at the door, and she let the dog out, and she said that dog went to the bottom of the porch and growled and growled and growled and just started backing up the steps. He would not go off the deck. Mom said she knew then it's back out there. But she said she looked out there one night and seen it standing at that corner. It's like a little, where it goes down this road to the other little bridge. That's what we call it, the little bridge and the big bridge. But she said that she could see it perfectly standing there. And she said it looked like an ape. An ape with longer hair. The hair was hanging down, not sticking out like a chimpanzee. But she said she could see it standing there. And she said often she'd close her window because she could smell that wet dog smell. Like something looking in the window. But when the lights are on, you can't see out them. And she always had curtains, drapes. She'd close the window and pull everything. She said, if I can't see him, he can't see me.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what she used to say. But
And there was one that she saw that had pointy ears.
yeah, that's what she said.
Man.
She said there's different themes down here. But the Bigfoot was the one that she seen the most. And Miss Frances, when Mom was little, seen it. So, and we always heard it. I never seen it myself. I seen, what you could see was something, but I never seen it like up close where I could say exactly what its face or anything looked like. A shape is all I could see. But I'm not afraid of it. I mean, I walk around here at night all the time. It's never hurt us. I'm more afraid of a poisonous snake biting me than Bigfoot getting me.
Yeah, same here.
Not afraid of them at all. I figured in all them years, my mom was 86 and stayed up on that mountain, up on that hill. Never got her, but Miss Frances was terrified of it. And we did have a couple dogs come up missing. But, we don't know if they ran off because they didn't know where we lived. We were here on the weekends, we didn't live down here then.
The dogs bark a lot at whatever was in the woods. Those are typically the dogs that'll go missing. Yeah. The barkers.
Right. But, and then one night my cousin Chris said it was looking in the window at him, and he had an MD and he was crippled, and he was telling my dad, get up and help me. There's something looking in my window. Well, the cabin was built way up off the ground because of the water, and then of course you had space, and then the window, my dad kept telling him, something had to be over 8 foot tall to be looking in that window at you, boy. I'm telling you, Uncle Floyd, it's looking in here at me. It's looking in here at me. That was another night we were all up screaming.
Yeah. So you guys have had a lot of things happen on the property, a lot of experiences and encounters with these creatures.
And the neighbors up on 72, the Sweeneys used to live up there, and they seen it. Yeah. Many times by their barn, So we weren't the only ones. We didn't feel like we were crazy when the neighbors were saying they seen it or heard it,
That'll make you feel better, though, that it's not just you.
First time I heard it holler, it made the hair on your neck sounded like it was right there, just where you couldn't see it. Yeah. We was all knocking each other over to get in that cabin. So we've heard it at our house, and it seemed like it was always at the same time every evening. We'd get our lawn chairs and wait for it, and we'd hear it. And then it'd be like, time to go in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. But yeah, it seemed like when you'd walk down that road, you'd hear it right, there. And it wasn't nothing little, because it was, a lot of brush and crap moving. So it was nothing little. And a deer will not follow you that way.
No.
You know, you never seen bears or anything down here then. You might see a bobcat or hear a panther, but no.
Yeah.
So that was scary. You know, we just always walked a little faster and got home quicker. And got around the fire. It seemed like the more you had music on, or the more people were here, the more stuff would happen. You know, or more noises, more people seeing it. You know, the night it took my cousin's tailgate and pushed it all the way to the ground, you know, and the truck went up. There had to be something really strong to do that.
Yeah.
Because my cousin's wife was in the back making their bed, and he was in the front. He was moving his guns from the back to the front, putting them behind his seat. And she was back there making her bed. They'd got here after everybody went to bed. Just pulled in and was making their bed. And pushed it all the way ground. He thought she had fell out of that truck, you know, and like hit the tailgate.
Oh, yeah.
But no. And she thought he was playing like a prank on her. But they left and they didn't come back camping.
Yeah.
No more.
Yeah, I don't blame them. What do you guys think it is? Something spiritual or a physical creature that's living out there?
I think it's Bigfoot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think.
I think it's some kind of form of a Bigfoot. There's so many names for him, but I think he's curious. I think they're curious. And I think they know, like, when there's a lot of people, a lot of group, there's barbecue, there's fish, there's, you know, there's food. They smell it. They hear the noise.
It's free entertainment.
You know, there was coolers gone through. You know, that no raccoon could open those old Coleman metal coolers with the latch. No, raccoons couldn't open those.
No.
So.
No, they couldn't.
No.
Very good. I appreciate you sharing that with me.
Well, you're welcome.
That really ties in
I
with
wish
everything
my
you
mom was
explained.
here. She, you know, she could tell you all her experiences. She had a lot, you know. And that dog of hers, he would tell her. I mean, she let him know. And when that dog was scared, she knew, I got to get in this house and lock the door. You know, because that dog, I mean, any other time he'd go out and chase whatever was out there. That's about it. I think Adam told you a lot of the stories.
Yeah.
So my uncle, if he was here, he'd tell you about it beating on his camper. And my grandma, she didn't really come out at night. You know, she stayed in her house.
Yeah, she knew what was out there, huh?
Well, you know, at night when my grandma and grandpa had a cabin that grandpa built, and it was way up on stilts. I mean, you could walk underneath the house. My aunt, she used to camp under the house. She'd set up her whole camp under there.
Yeah.
You know, so it wouldn't get wet if it rained. That's how high it's set up. And I can remember being in grandma's cabin and something making noise under there and growling and just making lots of noise. And my grandpa saying it was dogs fighting under there. I don't know if he was telling us that to calm us all down, you know, because there'd be, well, I had 4 sisters and my aunt, that's 5, and then my 4 cousins all in there. That's 9 girls screaming, you know.
Yeah.
And it, you know, now that I'm older and I think about it, how could dogs be down there fighting like that? And what dogs?
Yeah.
You know, grandpa's little chihuahua was in the house. So there's no telling what that was about.
You've heard the recordings that that he's gotten, and that's what you guys heard?
Yeah.
Before?
And the one over at my house, one night I was in my bedroom, I had my window open, and it was nighttime, and I could hear a turkey right outside my window. Turkey, like a turkey making noise. And I'm like, turkeys aren't out at night. You know, they're roost.
Yeah.
And why would a wild turkey be by my window? We didn't have no turkeys. But you could clearly hear a turkey.
It just kept getting louder.
And I called Tim and I was like, you come home. Because I've heard stuff, they mimic animals.
Mm-hmm.
And I never heard of a turkey being outside at night
No.
by
No, not at
someone's
night.
window.
Yeah.
You know, so that was like, get home. I was there
Yeah.
by myself. You come home now.
Yeah.
So we recorded it on my old cell phone. And it got so loud that we actually freaked us out a little bit. I shut the window and then you could still hear it. I was like, that went on for 15, 20 minutes, didn't it?
Yeah.
And I only got just a couple of minutes maybe of recording, but
To freak you out?
yeah, it was weird. I'd never heard nothing like that before in my life. I mean, it sounded like a turkey on the what we recorded. You couldn't really hear the end of it. I mean, it was so low, it would go like a growl, like. And I've heard turkeys, you know, do that, but this had a...
They drum, but that wasn't like a turkey
it
drumming.
It sounded like a growl.
Yeah, it was weird.
And it echoed. I mean,
And,
it was echoing
and it
out
was
there.
like we'd listen for it, you know, it seemed like it'd go on every night. At the same time, we would hear yelling, and we would listen for it, you know, and it seemed like it'd be really quiet while that was going on, and then all of a sudden the coyotes would quit, and then the coyotes would start in, which really was strange. I mean, it was like the coyotes were completely quiet, you know, and then after that noise quit, the coyotes would start in, like they were. Kind of like they run together in a way.
Yeah, it could be.
I
Maybe,
don't know.
Maybe the Sasquatch kill like the deer, take what they want from it, and the coyotes come in and grab all the guts and stuff. You know, they just grab the kidney, the liver, you know, and all the important parts that they need.
Maybe, but that's what we always heard after.
It's about this time of the day right now.
It would actually scare you to the point where you didn't know whether you had enough time to get to the house. Do you remember that? We was like,
We did see something that one day swim across the river,
yeah, we did.
and
yeah.
we could not identify what it was.
There was 5 of them.
They went across the river, and I was like,
I said, what is that?
deer? What is that?
You
But
can-
we couldn't make it out. And then when it got to the other side of the river, there was so much brush, we couldn't see.
Yeah.
And we were standing on a big rock down in the river, fishing, saying, "What is that?"
They went across from left to right. There was 5 of them.
And it wasn't a swimming motion.
No, they'd go out there and they'd stop. It was like, it was way upriver. And it was like, what is that? And you see, like, you know, little heads go up, kind of, you know, and they just stand there, you know, and then they move a little bit and go up. And I was like, what? And then they just went on over and disappeared.
Were they upright or on all fours?
They were in the water.
There was no swimming motion. Like
No.
the water wasn't, you know, like you would see a doggy pedaling, you know, an animal, but
A deer wouldn't stop, though. As we said, a deer wouldn't stop in the water. They'd keep going
no,
till
and
they get
that's
the
a
other
pretty
side.
deep hole up there.
Yeah,
It's
could have been a
pretty
family
deep
group
hole.
crossing the creek. That's cool.
It is a pretty deep hole up there.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I don't get in and walk across there swimming at the fish. You know, I have to hop from rock to rock to even get out toward the middle where I can fish.
There's more activity, like you said, there's more activity when we're all down here and we got, you know, the barbecue going and then everybody kind of, about this time, you know, everybody's kind of sitting around talking and just out of the blue.
And my
I'm
brother,
here, you know. Like,
my brother took a picture. They set up his camera and took a picture of him and his girlfriend at the time. They took a picture and they could see something between the trees looking at them in the picture. Didn't know it till they got their pictures back because it was a 35mm camera.
Yeah.
So they didn't know it till they got it back, but nobody knows what happened to that picture. I wish we had it,
Yeah.
you know.
We found an X up there, right up the road. You telling about that?
Found a what?
2 trees and an X.
Really?
Yeah, right up your by your family's.
I've had a cousin that was camping over there in her pop-up, and she got so scared one weekend. Something was at the back of her camper, and she was in a pop-up, you know. Never had nothing happen to her before.
Yeah.
And I don't think they really camped but one time after that, and then they put it in the front yard.
Yeah.
They wouldn't put it in the backyard. You know, they were scared. They were right up against those woods, too.
Yeah. Do you think a lot of people from the community around here hear the sounds? They just don't want to talk about it?
They hear them, and they're probably like us, used to them. And, you know, there's a lot of things you don't notice.
Heard one neighbor say they
until-
didn't want to get made fun of,
Yeah.
so they wouldn't talk about it. But you know,
Yeah, I mean,
I think there's probably more people that have heard it. I mean, it's not just us. Just like that one boy called you last night and said that
Preston.
he
Yeah.
thought he thought he was going crazy. You know, he didn't. Everybody kept saying, "Oh, come on," you know. But my other cousin, he says he sees like a light go through the woods. You know, like somebody's walking with a light, but there's nobody there.
I've seen that before.
You know, and he says he watches for it and sees it. You know, like, what is that light? And he says he's followed the next day and walked and like to see if there's anything up there that could shine, you know, like a light, a reflection or anything, and there's not. It's just woods.
Yeah. People say it's the Sasquatch.
So, yeah, I don't.
Around here, when I was growing up, my mom, my dad, they always call it the Momo. And Mom always said, you know, they said they had some big person, you know, blah, blah, blah. And they had to be a gorilla that escaped from the zoo. And we was like, you know, a kid, you know, gorilla escaped from the zoo, they'll catch it, you know, blah, blah, blah. And they always call it Momo, you know. But I remember where I grew up was on Baptist Heights. And I grew up poor, I just didn't know it. And I remember one night, it was summertime, and you know, the dogs, we had two dogs, Peppy and Poncho, German Shepherds. One of them had been shot and his leg was stiff and they'd had it fixed, you know, and they were gifted to us. And Dad come in there and said, get in the floor. You know, Dad was, you know, I never thought he was really afraid of anything, but, you know.
He always carried a gun, too.
Yeah, he always carried a gun on him, you know, he had it in his pocket, you know. And when he told us to get in the floor, that meant get in the floor now. And I was probably 7, maybe. I remember this. And I want to see what's going on. So I got up on the bed, and I look out the window, and I'm not lying, I seen something walk from the right to the left, which would have been downhill, because everything was downhill or on top of a rock up there. It was big, and it was black, and it was walking this way. It looked like it was hunched over like this. I said, maybe it's a bear, you know, I don't know. Maybe I've never seen a bear walk in the woods before, you know. But now I look at it like maybe it was.
What did your dad say it was?
Dad said it was a bear, but he didn't know either. I mean, one night he had something up there screaming at him, and he got the gun out, and he could see those eyes glowing, and he put the crosshairs on it, shot, and the eyes went away. Next morning, it was snow, and next morning he got up and walked up there, and there was nothing there, no blood, nothing, and there was no footprints or nothing. It was just something. It was two eyes staring at him. And it was screaming at us. It was on Baptist Heights.
Something tried to grab Rose through the window.
Yeah, something, don't know, maybe a idiot. I was probably, like I said, 5 or 6, and Rose, my oldest sister, was in bed, and I was laying there, and she started screaming. Somebody's trying to grab her, you know, through the window. And Dad gets up and he's got the gun, you know, going outside, shooting around, everything else, scaring the hell out of everybody, you know. And well, he fixed it. He said, well, you know what? Somebody's gonna reach in and grab his daughter. He's gonna stop him. So he hooked up on the screen. Back then it was metal screen, positive, negative, and plugged it in. If somebody wants to grab that screen, he's gonna find out who it is next morning. The way he let everybody know that he's doing this, didn't have no more problem. We still don't know who it was or what it was that reached in the window.
He invented the bug zapper.
Yeah, the bug zapper, yeah.
Squash zapper.
Yeah, squash zapper. but yeah, there's
There's a lot going on out here.
yeah, there's a lot.
History of Bigfoot reports.
There's something in here. There is something, we don't know what it is. I've never personally seen it myself.
But you've heard it.
We've heard it, everybody's heard it, and we all kind of scramble around when it goes off, like, you know, what do you do? Right. You know, but.
Well, I used to read on the internet, and I can't find it, I've searched for it, where someone's talked about being down here night fishing on 535 and seeing eyes about 8 foot up in the woods.
So, you know, right now you hear the
looking,
crows.
You know,
it's a warning
looking
sign.
at them.
Yeah.
Something's
I
in the
think
woods.
that was on
There's guineas?
Strange Things.
Who in the hell's
not
got guineas?
Strange Things.
That sounds like crows.
I had 30 guineas.
Might have been Bigfoot sightings in Madison County that I read it on. And I said, well, that's Mom's Road. And it was
Well, we're not
talking about down here by the bridge they were fishing.
You know, we're not
Now,
saying we're crazy.
my
We're
niece's
just saying
dogs,
there's something here.
My
you know.
niece's dog, she lives up on the hill. Her dogs got attacked. I mean, cut up bad. And they
Yeah,
took
one
him to
died,
the
yeah.
vet. And the vet said he didn't know what got him. Could have been a wild hog, a cougar. He didn't know, you know. And she said it looked like one of the dogs had basically been shredded on one side, you know. But
She blamed it on the hogs.
yeah, she
but
said
she didn't
wild
know
hogs.
anything.
But I don't know.
All right, we are heading to a conservation area nearby, and yeah, it's gonna be an excellent tour, guys. So when you guys hear the Sasquatch clan, about how many do you guys think are around?
A lot.
A lot?
Yeah, probably about 3 or 4, don't you think?
I'd say we're between 3 and 6, somewhere in
3
there.
and 6, yeah. 6 seems to be the magic number, give or take, for each clan.
I know there's one big one.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and the theory is the big males, they hang out alone, kind of like the big bucks, you know, they want solitude. You know, they don't want to be around all the juveniles just running around like idiots.
Blame them.
I think the big guy checks it out. Once he's comfortable enough, the little ones start coming in.
Yeah. Well, like, you can spook a doe and they'll come back, but like a buck, you spook him and it's like he won't handle that as well.
Yeah.
Same with the big Sasquatch. They want solitude, I think, because their size. They get grumpy. Basically, like, the theory is that the females will raise all the juveniles and they'll hang out close to somebody's home.
I can see that.
Yeah. Basically, they try to raise the little ones on private lands and teach them how to watch humans. And I mean, like, just like Bill said, that one came up for like 30 minutes that one day. That mother with 2 little juveniles, and they stood at the edge of the yard, just watching. So it's nothing but hog farms out here?
Tons of hog farms.
Huh, okay.
You'll see the little silo huts all throughout here.
Yeah.
That big guy get up on these hills and these pine thickets and be able to see stuff from a long ways away.
Yeah.
So I think from what Jim was telling me, this is where he's seen his red eye incident right here in this turnoff in this conservation area.
Mm-hmm.
We did a night investigation here, but we also felt felt like we were gonna look like poachers, you know, with spotlights and cameras and guns and everything, you know. It just didn't look good.
Yeah. Well, this would be a place for Sasquatch to be.
Conservation. What are you guys doing? Bigfoot hunting?
Bigfoot.
Right. Sure you are. Good Water Harbor Bridge. We'll have to walk across the bridge.
Was there a hay over here too?
No.
All right, you guys can carry me. Sasquatch theory, don't walk.
I'll carry you.
Thank you, Shelby. Subaru. We made it, yay! $500 per day. What? Just kidding. $5. You guys want to check out Adam's YouTube channel? Check out the Half Inch Wrench Crew. He puts all his videos on there with him and Shelby. You guys can check it out, subscribe, like, help him out. Look at that face. Gotta help him out. Yeah. They're not afraid to get out in the dark. For real though.
We are. Okay. We're scared to go out there, but we seem we got this.
Yeah, they got this. $5 to have fun? Okay.
It used to be $3, but I guess they raised it. That's okay.
It's okay.
I got a lot to keep up with.
There we go. Has there been any encounters reported from this actual area?
If you look on the BFRO, you'll see like E Highway.
Uh-huh.
We're right there.
Yeah. And there's reports though from E Highway, right?
Oh yeah. I've had people tell me they've heard crazy stuff down here in the Silver Mines area.
Really?
Yeah, we're going up there to that man.
Up there? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So Matt Moneymaker's been out here?
Is he?
I don't know. He said BFRO.
The reports are on here.
Man, if I see that guy, I'll take his money. Yeah, there we go. Sandy soil over here. You guys seen the Independence Bigfoot footage? Independence Day footage?
Is that the one that runs across the field?
Yeah, like you see all the boulders and she picks up her baby and she runs off with the baby and the baby's like trying to look and like pushes off her chest. That looked real to me.
It's kind of hard to fake.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a nice area.
Put dead bodies, bags, things.
Yeah, perfect place. You might need it on this trail. It's right in the middle of the trail, as usual.
Well, the sticks are placed over that uprooted tree.
Oh yeah, that is weird. Let's go check that out. Yeah, it kind of seems like there's something going on here, huh? Yeah, good eye, man.
What's up with that?
I don't know. Some type of symbol.
Is that a footprint
I don't know. Oh, that is strange.
There's definitely some kind of structure there.
Yeah. What do you guys think it means?
I'm sure if it was
Yeah. That is strange though.
He's been down for a while. Or he's been dead for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, can you see that levee from here?
Yeah. What'd it say?
Desperate.
Yeah, so what? We are pretty desperate for some activity.
And what about it?
Well, we didn't have Bigfoot activity, so we had to ask the spirit box.
Where are the Bigfoot?
Are the Sasquatch physical creatures or spiritual? Is Sasquatch a physical creature or spiritual?
You're gonna answer me. Answer me! Hello? That's fine.
It's like, I don't want to play anymore. Ooh, this is spooky.
Many died here. Sasquatch?
No, it's talking about Native Americans.
Dude, no, a lot of miners did die here.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Big rocks.
Natural firm.
Yeah.
We're like right there.
Are we? What'd it say?
Oh, it's gone.
I think it did say Sasquatch.
It restarted. It didn't show no words.
Oh.
I
What do you think it said?
think it said Sasquatch.
Really?
I think so too. I didn't get to read it.
That's creepy. What'd you say?
Do what now?
John the Miner.
Dude, last time I was here, I found a bunch of silver and fool's gold right through here.
Really?
Yeah, down here towards the bottom for sure.
That's cool.
They definitely look placed. There's just leaves underneath them.
Not that one. No. But they have been moved. You can tell somebody like sat them there.
They got incredible zoom on it.
Yeah. Well, it's got like purple in it. I don't know where the purple was, but yeah, right there. See that? So people died out here trying to make a living for their families, basically, huh?
Yeah, so they didn't have equipment. So these guys would take their own mules, go deep down the mine, hand mine, load the mules up, bring their mules out, and that's how they got paid, was the amount of ore that they hauled out with that donkey.
Really?
Or a mule.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's deep.
I did the same thing.
There's the old mine shaft.
That's a mine shaft? Wow, you can feel the cold air coming out of there.
All the time.
Yeah. And it's collapsed, huh?
I think they just put rocks in there to...
Oh, block it off?
Yeah. I think they come here and cool off sometimes. Think about it. That's air conditioner, you know?
Yeah.
Summertime.
Uh-huh. There's a lot of structure up there too, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to graffiti Sasquatch theory all over it. Okay.
Should have brought a chainsaw.
Yeah. That's cool though. You definitely get the heebie-jeebies being back here, like spirit kind of stuff. Yeah.
It's a canoe. It is a canoe, ain't it?
Oh, I think so.
He's trying to fight the current. I can do it. I'm not giving up. Cool.
Galena. It's lead and silver. They travel together. So when they mill it down and separate the lead from the silver before it's actually considered lead.
Good find. Let me see that. Shining around.
Starting bid 5,000. Ooh, hair start ringing.
Look at that though. That's amazing. I mean, it could be people, but what the heck? What'd she say?
Tell people my story.
You hear that? You hear that? Like a woo.
Me and Shelby were both rolling too.
I was too.
Look at the way them trees are right there. That's weird.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, that looks like an X. What do you guys think? Yes?
Oh, yeah. That's an X.
That's like 2 X's. And this is right by your place too. Oh yeah, look at all that tree damage. I don't know if that's Sasquatch, but there's a lot of damage. So that could be an actual X right there. It looks pretty symmetrical to me. What do you guys think, for real? Don't give me that.
I think so.
Be honest. Tell me that it's not.
I think it's an X. The way.
Yeah. There's one right there. There's another one right there. And then there's another X and then another X. There's actually 4 X's right there. If you really look hard, there's all kinds of.
That one is just like a stone up there.
Yeah. It's a Star of David or something. It's like a cross. They're demons, guys. It's the power of Christ that scares them. You never know. I mean, why would they be making crosses, though, if they're demons? You know what I mean? That doesn't sound very productive.
Found them. We called state. They sent out county. They looked at them.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of like, yeah, we don't know. They sent pictures to a local anthropologist.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that they weren't human, but he didn't know what kind of animal they were.
Yeah, that is weird.
So they left them. We reached out to a friend that has an anthropologist in his back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And we come back down here to get them, and they're gone.
Really?
Gone.
That is strange. You think they took it? The people you called?
I don't know.
They just said, oh, it's nothing. They came back and grabbed all that stuff. Never call those people again.
I don't know, dude. It's weird. I feel like somebody went down there and got them.
Yeah. I mean, if they're gone, that's what happened.
I hope they were just like a really big hog or something. I've never seen a leg like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know how the animals are. They got that shoulder blade. They don't really have that socket. And if they do have a socket, they're going to have a smaller leg. You know, their geometry is going to be smaller.
Yeah, yeah.
We're all out there, we're sitting on a picnic table, drinking beer, trying to scare each other. And, I'd tell a story that I knew, and, brother-in-law Jess, he'd tell a story, and his brother would tell a story. We all got done. We were sitting there, talking. And out of the blue, something over there in the woods. And I can remember this noise like it just happened. It was like, you hear this criss, crash, criss. I'm like, yap, 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 yap. And let me tell you, that last yap, we were all up and running to the camper. And the first guy opened the door, second guy grabbed him, threw him out of the way. He got there, third guy, it was like comical. I mean, I got in there, we got the door shut, and about that time, we heard something go, dun, 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 dun. I said, it's on the roof, it's on the roof. I mean, it was a small camper, and it was like, what do we do? And I was like, listen, the wind picked up, started blowing, and this Portage Sioux, that Hideaway Harbor, is right there on the Missouri River. I mean, you look out there and you see the Missouri River. So there's critters out there everywhere. And it was a rough night. Next morning we got up, walking out there, looking, looked up there, and what it was, where we'd parked the camper, was underneath a walnut tree, and the walnuts was falling out of the tree and hitting the top of the camper, and it was a loon. We asked that guy. He goes, he was telling us, I said, sound like, wow, yeah. He said, yeah, that's a loon. I said, what the hell is that? He said, it's a big bird. And it's like mating season for them things. And I said, well, I'm telling you, it was about 9 feet tall and it had teeth. I mean, everything was going through your head like it was a monster. Because you get these grown, macho men. I mean, that thing went off like that, and we was scattered like shook us up bad.
Yeah, you think it was a Sasquatch though?
I didn't know what it was.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it was a Sasquatch loon.
Yeah. I didn't even know that we had loons.
Asked if Brittany said hello, and Brittany was just kind of looking at her like, what? And about that time she heard someone say hello. From what I get, she's kind of frantic. She sounded frantic. She says you hear something walking by the house over there where my buddy Joe hunts. She says she's freaking out, got the doors locked. Okay. Might have to use a pew-pew.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Alright, let's check it out. See what's going on.
TV, and I heard, hello, and I started, Dixie was sitting right here asleep. She got up on all fours, hair stood up, started growling. Me and Emma went in the house, and then as soon as I got to the back porch, I looked around, and then something from, it just seemed like it was just like right there where Joe was hunting, started walking. I heard 2 steps. It wasn't no deer, nothing. It was deer, it would have took off. Started walking.
Weird sound.
I'm terrified.
You wanna walk around over there?
I heard something moving off as we were walking up closer, so whatever it was kept backing up. Whatever came up to the house and said, hey, really terrified Adam's family. I could feel the fear in their voice and see it in their eyes. Before I left, Adam's daughter was retelling the story, and she was crying when she was telling the story. So you could tell that, they were being genuine, everything was legit, and you could feel the tension in the air.
All right, we are getting ready to go out in the night. When we go out, let's try not to do any calls or any wood knocks, nothing. Let them freak us out. Think they got the advantage on us, okay?
Sounds good to me.
Yep. And Adam said he wants his own little Chewbacca, so we're going to try to get him one.
Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Do I need to bring my horn?
Ooh.
Cleaned it out earlier with alcohol.
What am I doing? I forgot what I was doing.
If one man falls behind, he gets left behind, right? No.
Yeah, you're on your own.
You're on your own now. Shut up. Spooky.
Yeah. I think that attracts them.
Yeah.
Red light.
Let me see that SD picture. Which one? Camera.
I'll probably look like a redneck.
Hey.
Set a recorder up.
Yes. Good deal.
It's on
9. Check. Check.
We're good.
We're ready. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Go.
To the Thunderdome.
GoPro on. You recording?
No. GoPro, start recording. We gotta turn that thing off.
Sounded like a herd of bulls.
Hey, I think we're gonna walk down the road, right?
You don't want to get that scary feeling of going in at the hole back here.
What?
What? What?
Do what?
We can go in and walk down the road.
We're gonna walk down the road, right?
Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got, guys. I heard something. Did you guys hear that? Is that what that was? I heard that too. Kind of strange. Or was it those what are those fake turkeys they got over there? You guys think you're hearing stuff to the right? You guys hear anything to the right? What was it? Could be a dog. Mm-hmm. You hear that? That was like a rock or something. There's like a rock got thrown in there.
That was weird.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. Let's go back.
You see that?
Let me get behind you here. Is that your 12 o'clock?
Straight, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do see it.
Wow, it looks like a head. Critter?
Did I hear something?
It's moving. Could be a little critter. What are you? Make yourself known. Oh yeah, you hear that?
Yeah, it moved. It's moving 1 o'clock.
You can see the heat on the tree. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
No, I don't mess with them. I don't think so.
Yeah, it's parking fine. It just looks like we're killing.
Yeah.
I hate walking this road.
This is a spooky area for sure.
It's the Darth Vader.
Yeah. There's a few big stars in it. Yeah. Yeah, that does kind of look like a structure. Good find in the dark. You already knew it was here.
Yeah, I knew it was here. It's just weird how it's all placed.
Yeah.
There's a spider. Where?
Good find, guys. Dude, that sound came from over there now. That way. Yeah, it was over that way. And now it's over here. It's like a woo! Woo!
Talking to each other.
You guys ever walk in here at night like this? Brave man, you are. Man, we're right next to the water, aren't we? Woo, 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 woo. You heard what? You heard a branch?
I think so.
I thought I heard something moving over here.
Shooting?
Hopefully no one shoots at us. I'm scared.
What do you say?
Stay here.
It's like, don't go over there.
Is it still there?
I don't know. It looked like a light though. It was ground level. It was definitely. Oh yeah, I see it. I saw it for a second.
I think it's moving.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
There's a road over there,
Mm-hmm.
Headlights, you won't be able to see them where you're going.
Yeah. Well, I definitely heard some strange, like, owl calls. Something. It's just hard to tell with the water being so loud.
Yeah.
Bed.
She's like, go to bed. Nighttime. Oops, sorry, buddy.
Let's see where I'm going.
Yeah, it's spooky in here. Definitely a place to Sasquatch go through.
Feeling when you're
Yeah, I do.
you're up here and every time you come in here, it's always exactly the same.
Dig? Start digging. Yeah.
One of those good caboose.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
We sure did.
Did you hear me? Wow, very weird. Oh, sorry. I was testing my mic.
Tell me.
Damn, this battery's already down to 44%. Brand new battery. Was it pretty loud though?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Kaplunk.
I'd almost guarantee you that GoPro picked it up.
Yeah.
I can't believe you didn't hear it. It was like a blue.
No, I just stepped on a rock over there, so I about tripped. I wasn't paying attention.
You was tripping.
Yeah, I was tripping, bro.
Okay. I'm gonna start with the very first sound. Maybe 2011, 2012, maybe. I heard it saying something yelling "Dad" in the woods. Like, and I was 18, 19 years old. You know, maybe 18, 19. I don't quite remember. It had to be 2011 because Dad had that truck from when we moved.
It was the same truck I was in when I seen the red eyes.
Yep. So,
yeah.
and it was yelling "Dad" and help. And where we lived at the time was kind of down in it used to be an old mill, and my dad converted it over to a home. And so me and my brother's friend run up there, kind of curious because there ain't no houses up there everywhere. We thought maybe some kid actually got lost. So we go up there and we couldn't find nothing. We looked for about 20 minutes and nothing. We drove the road up and down and we just couldn't see anything, nothing. We drove up there, shut the truck off, didn't hear nothing. Come home and never heard it ever again after that. I still don't know to this day what that was. I don't know if Adam's friend will talk about that or not, but it'd be kind of nice for him to back me up on that, you know.
He remembers it.
Does he? Him and his boy was with us, I believe.
Does.
My father was there too. He didn't want nothing to do with it, so I borrowed his truck that day. And when I personally seen Sasquatch, I was burning some trash in a burn barrel, and it was kind of going pretty good. So I was like, I'll clean my pool. Now I walking up to the pool, I noticed the water was kind of ruffled up, and I was like, that's weird. You know, maybe it's the wind or something. And all the beach balls were there. May have been one beach ball in the pool, but all the rest were gone. I didn't think nothing of it, so I start scrubbing the side of the pools with the brush, and I hear gravel bar. I look up and I see it just walking into the woods, and it turns around. I honestly don't know if it turned around, but I know we were staring at it. We were staring at each other for a good, how long did I record? 2.5 minutes maybe. And then it hit me like, what am I doing? I need to call my brother. You know, I'm standing there trying to get pictures and recording of it. It was 8:30 at night, 8 o'clock, 8:30 on a summer night. And I didn't think Adam was going to believe me. Come running out there, and about that time, we're standing there. We turned everything off, you know, like maybe I'm just crazy and I want to see something like that so bad I'm just losing my mind. But nope, about that time, a tree. It was a tree or limb. What was that exactly?
I don't know. It sounded like it was running through the woods to me.
Yeah, come crashing down, running, noises just going through the woods. And that's when neighbors came over and they helped us investigate. But I legit seen it. It was, could have been Sasquatch, could have been Dogman, could have been anything.
What are some features you remember on it?
Big, no neck, really. It wasn't too big. It might have been 7 foot maybe, but it wasn't a full grown. So
yeah.
But I remember having no neck, like them cutouts they do. You know, it just has just no neck. That's exactly what it was. Just walking that way, and it's so hard to see because all the darkness and stuff over there, it turned in a way. And I don't know if it was standing sideways looking at me. Like, we made eye contact. I know for sure we was. I got a recording of it, but you can't see nothing because my phone won't pick up it. But pictures are perfect. You can see pictures, but it's just blended in perfect. but recording's dark. My wife seen it about 20 feet difference from it. We was playing in the pool and she seen it over my shoulders, and she seen it kind of duck down and run off, and she freaked out. She said, let's go in. I seen it. Let's go in. So it was like 8 o'clock at night, 7:30, 8 o'clock maybe. And I was like, I didn't even hesitate, you know. I was like, let's go, kids. Let's get in. We're cooled off, you know. Went inside. She has seen it, or heard it so many times, she puts her phone on record when she goes outside. And she goes out there, smokes a cigarette, and you can hear it run off. Like, So I go out there and I hear like a chatter or some type of weird noise. And I say, you're trespassing and you're not allowed here right now. Please come back, or please come back another time, or it's bedtime, being nice, you know. And I just kept hearing it chatter. And I finally just shot off around, you know, like, here's a warning, pow. And it full blown, like, I must have scared the shit out of it, because it sounded like a dude, a full grown man screaming murder, like, Wah! Running down through the woods till I couldn't hear it no more. It just never stopped screaming. That I didn't know. I was like, holy shit, you know, did I scare it that bad, or did I shoot it, you know?
Yeah.
That was pretty scary.
Well, I bet. I'm thinking it like freaked out the Sasquatch and he hauled butt through there, warning the rest of the clan.
Yeah, like, I didn't think he'd expect me to do that. I said, I'm gonna shoot off around if you don't leave, you know, being respectful, because I don't want them to be enemies, you know.
Yeah, I bet that freaked you out.
Oh, yeah. We put the kids in the room, went to bed, locked the doors, and every once in a while before the house burnt, we would hear a thump on the wall by our bedroom, like, boom. Oh, shit. You know, wife hated it, but never really got that aggressive. I also have a recording of it doing like native chants and stuff. Like, you can't hardly hear it because the crickets and all the bugs, but it's like a, what was that?
I hear the dogs barking and stuff outside. Something's got them going.
You falling asleep?
No, I'm listening.
Oh.
I can hear better when.
Well, it was like a native songs and stuff going on, and I was like, what the? I recorded, you could hear drums, doom, 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 doom. I don't know if it was neighbors playing loud music, but it was coming from that away.
Yeah.
So it's something going on there, and I don't know if they got skills or not, you know. And all the other times was with my brother. We seen it in front of the camper, and that was pretty spooky. And it was in front of the 9 foot tall, well, about 8 foot tall light. Pretty sure 9 or 8 foot. It's hard to measure it, but
that one time it blocked out that light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we seen it going through the woods, and it was just like big, wide, just gliding through the woods. Couldn't see it. Couldn't tell exactly where it was. It was just going.
Couldn't hear it.
Couldn't hear it.
Really?
Couldn't hear it walking.
That's freaky.
To this day, I think it was a shadow person, but maybe they got that ability. Like, oh, I'm too close. Put on my silent feet. What's that called? Call of Duty. Cold Blood.
Oh, yeah.
Cold Blood.
So have you seen the red eye shine as well?
Sabrina has, my wife. Yeah, she
leaving your place.
Yeah, she seen it over there at his house, and she actually forgot about that. And I was like, "Didn't you see it?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, I did at Adams."
Yeah, it's hard to categorize something like that, so a person could forget just because it's so out of the norm.
Yeah, there's so much that happens here. It's hard to like remember what goes on and what kind of trauma you actually went through. Like the first time it was messing with us down there, and I was gonna run away and leave him. We got it. It's in part 2, I believe, ain't it, on our YouTube? Yeah. I was gonna run away and leave him. That thing was playing with us.
Really?
We didn't have night vision. We had lights and pistols.
Isn't it weird? Once you get all the gear, then they shut up.
It is weird.
Paid tuition.
They know.
My grandmother always, she told us it wasn't nothing bad, but she always said there was something evil in these woods. See, I think we got Sasquatch and the other things and dogmen, and I think we got portals on this land.
You think the granite has something to do with it? The crystal?
The granite, the pines, the water,
It's like the perfect recipe.
Yeah, it's all here. It's just, this stuff's been going on for, since 80, when did she buy this? Before that.
Yeah, it actually took, Mom told the story, it actually took place when Grandma was a little girl.
Yeah, she was 86 years old, so that long. Yeah. Since I was a kid, we got chased by 2 big headlights. I mean, I thought it was like a pretty big car, big round headlights on us. Me and my cousins were going up the road, and my cousin Rainey, she can vouch for me on this one. I think she actually commented on one of your videos that me and my cousin, he was on his floor and she was on the back with me, and I had that 4 tracks topped out. We hit that dip bridge, and I could have swore that thing was gonna hit us, cause if you jump the dip bridge, you're gonna slow down. And I was like, holy crap, this thing's gonna run us over. And we flew into my cousin Bryant's trail. It used to be trail, but now it's driveway. We flew into there. We almost crashed, and we turned our quads off, and it was just dust. Nothing ever passed us. Nothing. We never seen anything, and there is nothing from the dip bridge to his driveway. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that was to this day. I was like, it could have been UFO. Could have been spirit car. Could have been the devil's wagon. Could have been something.
Yeah, that's freaky. That's like Skinwalker Ranch stuff.
Oh yeah, that's what. I hate that name, but yeah. I hate it saying it. It's like, oh, you can't get rid of them unless you know their real native name. I'm like, why? How many names is there?
Yeah.
You have to go through them all to get rid of it, and I'm scared to death to say it at night. But I honestly do. I honestly think we have something like that going on here.
Yeah. I think so. For sure.
Between the paranormal and Sasquatch and Dogman and Grandma's stuff she's had go on, and what my grandpa's seen, what all my whole family's seen,
Yeah, you got a long history of cryptid paranormal reports.
It's been a lot of crazy stuff. Crazy. Is there anything else that's happened, Adam? I can't remember. I feel like I'm forgetting something. The night that it was hitting off the the hoot owl knocks, that was wild. I was half asleep, I was like, I'm going to sleep. If it's gonna eat me, I'm gonna be asleep, because I was tired. I was tired of kick-starting that dirt bike all day. I got one calf bigger than the other, and it sounded like a predator growl, wasn't it? It's like a in the
That growl at night?
yeah. It sounded like it was 10 feet away. It's like, holy shit. And that's when we skipped tail and came out. Did Josh go home that night?
Yeah.
Did he? I bet he was spooked out the whole way home.
Drove his Kayla home.
Oh my God. Nuh-uh, not me. I would have been staying tonight. That was scary, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would have freaked me out.
It was all around. There had to be 6 of them. Well, 4 to 6 of them. Had to be.
Yeah, it seems like they always travel, like, at least in 2s, 3s,
Yeah.
4s sometimes, but mainly 3s.
If you go in the woods, you get to... At daytime, it's not too bad. I can morel mushroom hunt all day, and sometimes you get a feeling that someone's watching you, but at nighttime, something's watching you. I think Adam caught it on thermal last weekend. Caught something on thermal on the other side of the creek. We didn't go down and check the shell.
No.
I really hope you guys all enjoyed this video and my trip down to the Mark Twain National Forest. It was pretty quiet this time of year, and like I said, I'm anticipating that the Sasquatch are going to be full force in the summertime. That's just my prediction, and there's no way of really telling, because the first time that I ever came to Bill's place, it was like February, and they were extremely active. This February, not so much, but Bill already told me that a mother and 2 juveniles came up to the edge of the woods one night after I left. So they're definitely around. It's just right time, right place sort of thing. It could be all the pressure, too many people, too much equipment, but the first time I was here, we had all kinds of people, we were making all kinds of noise, and I had all my cameras out, so I'm not sure what the deal is. Predators of this caliber technically don't have any set patterns, so it's just a matter of hitting this place when it's active. I'd love to feed these animals all day long and start gifting, but unfortunately, it costs too much money just to feed myself, so that's not practical. I just feel like that leaves you with another mystery, and you don't really know what's going on. It could be Sasquatch, or it could be little critters. I'm really banking on audio and video. I really hope to have a daytime sighting in this area, and I hope that I have my camera ready. Thermal's nice, but at the end of the day, people are just going to say that it's a man in a suit or it's just a person. Which I'd love to get them on thermal, don't get me wrong, but video camera is key, I think. And that's my goal. I want to get them on video, and you'll be able to see a lot more detail with a video camera than a thermal camera, in my opinion. Unless it's really close, but that's just my opinion, and that's my goal. So wish me luck, guys. Hopefully in the future I'll be able to capture some video evidence of the Sasquatch. If you guys think it's not possible, let me know why in the comments below. I think it is just because the Patterson film. That proves that you can film these creatures, and I don't think you have to have an old device. Any camera will be fine. It's a matter of having a good camera or a cell phone. That's the difference. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and be sure to comment down below. You can also watch the full-length video on the membership page, so be sure to join now. If you would like to make a contribution to the channel, you can use the Super Thanks button or the PayPal donate link. You can find that in the description down below. Thank you everyone for watching, and take care.